Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, All That Jazz. So Stranger Things has officially come to an end, and I want to start first by saying this clearly. The finale was beautifully done, in my opinion. No, it didn't include every prediction I personally wanted, but that doesn't mean it was bad, and it definitely doesn't mean it was anywhere near a Game of Thrones level failure. So let's talk about what worked, what didn't, and why this ending deserves more credit than it's getting. Now, let's quickly talk about some of the things that the finale got right, in my opinion. So, one of my biggest predictions was that the finale wouldn't just be one single showdown, but multiple battles happening simultaneously at the same time. And that's exactly what we got. We had a battle going on inside the mind, a battle outside the mind. 11 was fighting Vecna internally, then she went to the abyss and fought him as well. The rest of the group was fighting the Mind Flayer itself. So there were quite a few different things going on in the finale when it came to the battle. Now, here's a fair criticism. They could have made the battle in the abyss longer. We've been building towards the Mind Flayer for nearly a decade, and while the fight did happen, it felt short, about 10 minutes of direct confrontation. Yes, the battle inside the mind was happening simultaneously, and that absolutely counts. However, it still would have been nice if we got more of 11 and Vecna's battle inside the Mind Flayer's body, more interaction in that space, and more time to just really sit and watch the team fight this monster. I honestly expected once 11 defeated Vecna that Will would be forced to take his place, and then we would get a continuation of this fight of Will now taking Vecna's place and being the main antagonist. However, that didn't happen, and while I understand the choice, it does leave that lingering feeling of, well, what if they did this and pushed it a little farther? They almost gave us a redemption arc for Henry, which would have pushed my love is the answer theory in order to break Henry free from the Mind Flayer. I thought that would have been really fascinating and interesting. For a moment, it looks like Henry is coming back. Will sees what happened when Henry was a child and when he was affected. He realizes Henry was just a kid, not that different from himself. For a second, it feels like Henry might choose differently, but he doesn't. He chooses the Mind Flayer not because he has no choice, but because he believes in what it showed him. He needs it and it needs him, so that choice matters, and it shuts down the door on redemption, not strategically but intentionally. So they intentionally showed us that Henry chose this path. And I can't lie, just for the sake of seeing more of Jamie Bauer play Henry, I would have loved to have seen him come to the other side, but I understand and I respect the choice. I wasn't upset by the choice at all, because I still thought even if Henry was vindicated, he still had to die. He did too much. And I also want to take a few moments to talk about Holly Wheeler and give her her credit as well, because I've seen a lot of fans talk about she really didn't do anything in the finale, and I just want to give a different opinion inside, because did y'all watch the same thing that I watched? So I predicted that we would see Holly get these Holly the heroic powers, and no, she didn't get those. She didn't cast any spells, she didn't open a dimension door, but that doesn't mean her setup went nowhere. What Holly became was an actual leader. When everything went wrong, she kept the other kids calm, she showed them the way out, and she got them to safety. She didn't freeze, she didn't panic, she stepped up. She even fought Henry, buying others time and giving them a chance to escape. That matters. Holly wasn't the hero in a magical sense, she was a hero in a human sense. She was the light in the dark. Metaphorically, she was Holly the heroic. And the most important part, she didn't need the necklace to do it, just as Max told her. Stranger Things has never been about power levels, it's always been about who shows up when it matters, and Holly showed the fuck up. And if I'm being honest, anytime Holly was on the screen from episode 1 until the end, Holly carried and did exactly what she needed to do. Her and Derek became two of my favorites throughout the season. So leave the Holly hate alone. She did what she was supposed to do. She did what needed to be done. And the next person who did what needed to be done and who deserves a big apology from absolutely everybody is Kali. This needs to be said clearly. Kali did not betray 11 and she did not betray the group. In fact, she may have saved 11's life depending on what you believe with the reveal at the end. It was revealed that the 11 we saw inside the Upside Down as it exploded was actually a vision Kali created, so the real 11 could escape and live, which was genuinely a really beautiful sentiment. And for me, I'm choosing to believe Mike's theory. If you really sit and think about it, when they went into the void and she had that last final goodbye to Mike, there was no blood coming out of her nose. And as you remember, the kryptonite machines were going. So if you think about it that way, that couldn't have been 11 and it had to have been a vision that Kali created. And it's also very possible that what we saw with Kali dying was a vision as well, and it was all in their plan. And I say that because I do think the plan probably was for Kali to kill Hop in that moment. However, could you not have listened to that if you were someone like Kali and thought like, damn, I can see why 11 falls until this system here. He made it so believable that she could have her own future, she could have children, she can have life, and they'd find a way to keep her safe. Also, Hop going back and protecting Kali as well is why I think they ended up switching the plan, and Kali realized 11 does deserve to go out here and try to live her best life. So I'm choosing to believe Mike's theory. So everyone who thought she was going to be the Mind Flayer or this evil dark being can suck a fat one, and you owe her an apology. I also need to say this: the emotional beats in the finale were incredible. Like, I cried multiple times, damn near the whole episode, and I may shed some tears going through all of this. Okay, so here we go. 11's choice to stay inside the Upside Down hit hard, especially when she pulls Mike into the mind for that final goodbye. The kiss, the embrace, Purple Rain playing underneath it all, that was devastating in the best way. The moment between 11 and Hopper, when she says, "I'm not Sarah," gives him back the hair tie and asks him to trust her to make her choice as an adult, that was pure release for the both of them. As I discussed earlier, Kali sacrificed too. Whether or not you believe 11 truly died, Kali protecting her and Hopper cemented their bond was real. That wasn't manipulation, but it was actually love. Joyce taking out Vecna was cathartic as hell. After everything he did to this family, that line, "You fucked with the wrong family," felt so earned for her. And then the epilogue, it just kept hitting, from the music, the final D&D game, Dustin honoring Eddie as valedictorian, Holly and her friends running downstairs to start their own campaign, Joyce and Hopper finally getting a happy ending, even the ending itself. Mike's theory that 11 escaped, and that final shot of her hiking alone, it's hopeful but ambiguous. You're allowed to believe she lived, or that this is how they cope. And honestly, the emotional care is why the ending worked for me. I was okay with the characters not dying. I was okay with them finally having a happy ending. And my God, was the music choices so perfect. Using Prince, not one song but two was inspired. When Doves Cry after the victory, Purple Rain as the Upside Down was destroyed, and Elle's final goodbye to Mike. I mean, does it get any better than that? And to get Prince out of all people, come on. And funny enough, I was going to do a full video of all of my song predictions that I thought were going to be in the finale, and I had a few on my list by Prince because of Caitlyn's wardrobe throughout this whole process and all the interviews and things. It was giving very much Prince, so I was shocked at the same time, but I was like, see, I knew it. And if I'm being even more honest, I can't even listen to Purple Rain the same anymore. I listened to it in the car yesterday on my way home to get to where I needed to be and had a full breakdown, just crying in tears. That is how you do a finale. That is how you make a song be remembered. Like, I can only imagine how much playtime Purple Rain is finna get just because of that 30 seconds, if that they had in the finale. Now, as I said before, there were some things that I didn't care for or fell short for me. And the two biggest things: number one, Will's arc feels incomplete. All season, damaging the hive mind hurts Will. We saw him literally being pulled away by Joyce in pain because the Demogorgons were being killed by the military, right? Then in the finale, we literally see them fighting the source of the particles, the source of all of this, the Mind Flayer, and nothing happens to him. Nothing. I always assumed that killing Vecna or hurting Vecna or the Mind Flayer while Will was still attached would also mean Will will feel that and may be in danger too, and absolutely nothing. It's as if he was never infected before. I don't understand. I don't get it. And then let me also add, they centered this whole season around Will, when in the finale, if you ask me, it was more so about 11. They could have just given us more 11 moments throughout the season versus letting us think it was going to be surrounded by Will, and Will didn't really do much in the finale battle either. Yes, he was still connected to Henry and helped him that way, but what did he really do? It just felt like a missed opportunity. It really did. I was finally wanting to see the Mind Flayer fully take over with Will, and we see Will the antagonist, So that was a missed opportunity for me. And then secondly, the other big missed opportunity for me is most definitely the military and Dr. K, because what did they do? What did Dr. K do this whole season? What did she do? When we finally got a reveal of her plans, it came from Kali, which a lot of people didn't even believe that was true, but still, what did she do in this finale? Her and her team went place to place. You finally see the group's beanstalk plan, and what do? You don't go back inside the Upside Down to try to ambush them. You don't go back to the Upside Down to try to help them. They never tried to set up a group to go and find the kidnapped kids. Like, they didn't do absolutely anything. They framed Kay as this obsessive, dangerous, having this deep personal connection with this pursuit of Elle, just for nothing to come of it. I would have rather have seen them end up capturing Elle and all of them being inside the Upside Down, and then that would be, a third battle of the group having to go and rescue Elle. And during this pursuit and this rescue, they were able to blow up the Upside Down, and then the military and all of that shit would have went along with it. Something, but it most definitely just felt like, what was she there for? What was the reason? Even at the end, when the group comes back from the Upside Down and the military ambushes them, you see 11 inside the Upside Down, and the military and her are just standing there. They didn't try to go after her. They didn't try to do anything. So again, what was the reason? They could have just not killed off Brenner and brought him back for this season and let us have this final battle with him, versus giving us this new person who really didn't do anything. You made us wonder about what kind of connection she could really have to this, because it seemed really personal just for it to be nothing, for her to be a mad scientist. Yeah, I didn't like it. And with all of that being said, was the finale perfect? No. But it was thoughtful, emotional, and earned. It respected its characters, it stayed true to its themes, and it took time to say goodbye. Stranger Things ended with love, memory, sacrifice, and the reminder that surviving matters just as much as winning. And honestly, that's a good ending too. Before I go, I just want to say thank you to everyone who subscribed, commented, theorized, and went on the Stranger Things journey with me. I genuinely appreciate every last one of you. This story has meant a lot to all of us, and getting to experience it together made it even more special. Stranger Things may be over, but I'm not done talking about it. I'll still be covering Stranger Things content, especially with the animated series coming later this year to Netflix and whenever we get the announcement of the spinoff. At this time, I'm also excited to start diving into more shows, more lore, and more worlds. So if there's a series you'd like for me to break down or theorize about, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much again for being here, for supporting the channel, and staying curious with me. Until then, stay curious and stay out the upside down. I'll see you in the next one, guys.